For as long as I can remember, I always liked to sell, always, no matter what. In our world as an agent, it's days go into weeks. There's several reasons a transaction can fail. My listing was buying another house, and it was boom, boom, boom. It all fell apart. The biggest aspect, too, that I enjoy is negotiating. I love it. Those are the people that I meet. Those are the things that touch your life and say, boy, am I lucky that I don't have to deal with that. I don't know of any company, any brokerage that would turn down someone coming out of school with a license. What is it that you want to focus on? Do you want to focus on buyers, sellers, both? Do you want to list? Do you want to work with investors? Do you want to do commercial real estate? If you do, you'll need to go and take some more classes. My name is Judy Staropoli, and I'm currently with Plumtree Real Estate, born in New Jersey, 19 blah, blah, blah. I won't discuss that. I'll let Botox take care of the rest. As an entrepreneur, I'm building my business, so that is part of what my duties are. You have a house and you want to sell it. I go out there, I give you a comparative market analysis, which is part of my duties. I tell you what the comparables in the area to list your home at that particular price. The other part of my duties are to market it, advertise, and find buyers for that listing. This is a week-to-week job description of what we do. In our world as an agent, it's days go into weeks, and it's so funny because if I'm working with someone for 6 months, that feels like a week to me. It's the time frame is so different.
So you work both with sellers and buyers?
I connect the sellers and the buyers together. Hopefully I can have both sides of that, but that doesn't always happen. So if I have a listing, buyers sometimes are brought by other agents. They're doing their job. At one point, I was just totally a buyer's agent, where I would actually have buyers, take them out. I have no listings at all. With that said, it has its good parts and bad parts, but it depends what you want to do. With buyers, you can take them to 100 homes and maybe they don't find what they're looking for. As a listing, a lot of listing agents just put it up and wait for the buyers to come. So as you're looking at this career, you can make that decision to do both or just do one or the other. You walk into people that maybe lost a family member and they have to sell their house in an estate sale, or you walk into somebody who's just just got married and they want to find their first home. You walk into empty nesters. You walk into different situations. You also build these great relationships with people, and that makes all the difference in just going to work every day or never knowing what that day is going to bring. And that's what I love. What's going to happen today, and who am I going to meet today, and what life am I going to touch? That is just everything to me. That makes me happy. The biggest aspect, too, that I enjoy is negotiating. I love it. I love the hunt. I like to go out and negotiate with that agent. So if someone sends you a contract, you're like, and you start ripping it apart. You go through those 13 pages and rip it apart, and it's almost like getting into the ring with someone and just making that eye contact. That's another part that's so exciting for me. You could list a home and maybe it'll sell in a week, but it'll still take you 30 to 45 days to get your paycheck. And that's what's real important as well. You only get paid as long as that deal closes. And that's what you have to think about. You have to have a cushion, and a lot of agents do have other jobs to have that cushion while they build up this position. There's several reasons a transaction can fail. If you take a buyer in, okay, and just working with that particular buyer, I tell them to send me their wish list. So send me what your absolute necessary needs are, but also send me a wish list. I try to find that. There are sometimes people will say, well, I love the house, but I have to bring my family in. And then they bring the mother and father in, and the mother and father won't like it, and then things can fall apart, and all your hours and hours are fruitless. Another way things can fall apart, you can have a bad lender. And as a lender, I would see the red flag here and there. Sometimes those red flags don't always come up when you think that they do. Example, had one fall apart, lender gave me what they call a commitment letter, ready to close. 4 days before closing, they got denied. So now I have, and this is the other thing, you have a domino effect. So I have a buyer that's ready to go, buying my listing. My listing was buying another house, and it was boom, boom, boom. It all fell apart. And all you can do is say, well, let's put the house back up on the market and let's do it again. There were times that I felt I wasn't doing enough. There were times that I'm like, why can't I make this come together? What am I not doing? That still comes into question. You could be passionate and you could be educated, you could have all the great things, but if something goes wrong because a lender didn't do the job or an inspector just blew the job up or something happened, it's out of your control, you still feel like you should still be in control. So that's the downside that you have to deal with. You can't do everybody's job. You have to let them do it. You're not even delegating those jobs. But as a realtor, you have to be the glue to keep it all going. And that's what I enjoy, but it can have a downside.
What did you do in those bad moments?
I'll go have a day for me. I'll get my nails done, or I'll have a pedicure, or I'll spend time with a few of my 8 grandchildren, just to bring myself grounded again, to say, it's okay. It's okay. You know, stuff happens. And sometimes you wake up the next day and you're okay. For as long as I can remember, I always liked to sell, always, no matter what. So I worked little parties. I did parties and I'd love to be in front of people, and my biggest passion was, how can I sell that particular person what I have to offer? At that point, my children were old enough, I felt confident to go and find a job. So what did I do? I started knocking on doors. I did find a position with Flagstone Mortgage, this little mortgage company, which is no longer in existence, but knocked on their door and I was going to be the receptionist. I can answer phones, sure I can, all right? I can direct that. 3 months later, I was on the street as a loan originator. I didn't even know what it was. I came home just thinking, I can't do this, I don't know what to do, how do I get sales, what am I really selling? So as the time went on, I thought, I'm going to expand a little bit more. I got involved with one of our realtors that owned a brokerage, and he said, would you like to open a mortgage company with me? Sure. Well, I opened it up, and we were the first video conferencing company ever in the Central Ohio area. Definitely, it's very clear-cut. You go in to, again, either Hondros, Columbus State, wherever typically they offer these classes. And if you can do it in 3 weeks, it's easier to take the test, but you can spread it out over as long as you want. So they're just definitely real estate classes. And you sign up and you go to whatever works for you. They've made it very convenient. Then you go to a career night, you take the crash course, you take the test, you get licensed, and then you get with a company that can give you the further education to sell real estate. Because the classes that you go for, it teaches you to take the test, but it doesn't really teach you how to sell real estate. If someone wanted to come to me, I could mentor them, okay? I could teach them what I know and what I do and have them shadow me. And that would be the other thing that I would advise. And that's why we do recruiting, because they haven't received their license yet, but they're looking, where do we go? Where are we gonna get the most education? Where are we gonna hook up with the most seasoned person? But if you really need deep, more educational classes, etc., then I would always suggest go with a larger company. They're gonna take more money from you, but get the education, take as many classes as you can, and learn from that. And there's so much online that you can learn from as well. And again, everybody seems to be so in tune with online. They'll look at the pictures online. Yeah, I want to go see this house, that house. You have to also take time management classes. I would strongly suggest that because time management is so important in this business. I mean, you could get up in the morning and still be in your pajamas at 2 o'clock in the afternoon because you're working and you're working and you're working. Have some type of system for yourself if you're going to do this. I could pretty much say what I would ask if I was interviewing to bring someone on my team into Plumtree. And I would say, okay, what is it that you want to focus on? Do you want to focus on buyers, sellers, both? Do you want to list? Do you want to work with investors? Do you want to do commercial real estate? If you do, you'll need to go and take some more classes. Do you want to have designations behind your name? Is this your full-time career? Are you a part-time real estate agent? What is your sphere of influence? These are the questions I would ask to bring someone into our company.
Then you can decide based on this interview whether you say yes or no to this person?
I would always say yes, because we don't discriminate of what you want to do in our company. If you want to come in and only work 1 day a week, that's up to you. If you want to be shadowing or have us as a mentor, then come with us, because we don't take your money. We give you 100% of your commissions with a small fee monthly. So you do whatever you need to do. Huge quality is to bring value. I think you need to be passionate about what you do, and I think you really need to be disciplined for yourself. And I mean that in a kind way, because am I disciplined all the time? No. What happens is I suffer for that because I think I can do everything. Maybe that's a bad trait when you try to be an entrepreneur and make everything work. And I love to have all balls in the air. I love to have, excitement and the thrill of the hunt, and of course the successful end to the and the result of what you're doing. And of course, experience and knowledge is huge in this industry. You don't have the knowledge, somebody will chew you up and spit you out. There was this house, it's a huge house, and the family that lived in it, the father was an engineer. Well, he passed, and he had other family members living in this house. It just kept getting built out and built out, so they overbuilt it. So everybody passed away, and one was in a nursing home. And I said, okay, what do you need to do? So I listed it for like a fraction. We sold it as is. And once we sold it, they were so elated and so happy, because it was something that was sitting there for a long time, that they tried to sell it on their own and they couldn't do it. Those are the people that I meet. Those are the things that touch your life and say, boy, am I lucky that I don't have to deal with that. But at the end of the day, will those people remember what I hopefully have done for them to help them to the next stage in their life? What I see is this continuation of the internet development, and people are just buying houses on the internet. They don't need to go sometimes physically in there to see what it looks like. I've had somebody from another state, I sold a house, this is the truth, FaceTime. I still like the fact that if I can meet people and have that personal touch, it'd be great. Is that ever gonna leave in the future? I hope not. I don't think so, but I think the technology is so incredible. We have drones looking at houses, everything. Electronic signatures. That never happened a few years ago. Now everything goes through a dot loop or DocuSign. We used to physically have to go and get people to sign. Wet signing, no more. Only at the day of closing. Even that is changing. I think that the technology is changing the traditional agent. So at this point, that technology is going to help my business be more successful, because it's making us change. To be transparent, to be honest, and to do the right thing.
When you say to be transparent, what does it mean when it applies to your job?
That you cannot come across as something you're not. When I sit with some other people, you could pick out when they're fake or not being honest with you or just trying to push it, almost like selling a car salesman as they would say. I want people to see that I will bring them a lot of value to the table. I want them to see that I will bring my knowledge, professionalism, and experience. So that's the transparency I'm talking about. I just wish that we would, as human beings, just be nice to each other, a little bit nicer, a little bit less hurting each other. Accept each other for who we are. It doesn't matter what you believe in, what I believe in. It only matters that we're just kind to each other.
What's your favorite food?
Pizza.
What's your favorite thing to do in your free time?
Watching my grandchildren.
What's your favorite country to visit?
Canada.
One thing you cannot live without?
My family.
What's your favorite book?
I just read one. It was, oh my gosh, it was a real estate book. I don't think it'll be that interesting. It was a real estate book. It was about how to get better as an agent and blah, blah, blah. So you guys just pass on that one.
Your favorite show or movie?
This Is Us. I'm there on Tuesday at 9 p.m.
What makes you happy?
Not having my microphone fall off. My husband makes me happy.
You should get into my profession if you are.
Ready to take on being an entrepreneur.
You should not get into my profession if you are.
Don't have the passion to help people. One of the best things I can tell anyone out there is follow your heart, follow your dreams. You may have people discouraging to you. Just push that aside. Do what you think is best for you. That is going to be your success. If you follow someone else's dreams, it's going to wake up to be a nightmare. So trust me, I have followed my dreams. It took me a little while, but I got there. And I'm very happy with the way everything turned out.